Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a brand new week. Welcome to Sunday. Welcome to the first day of the week. This is Bernard Bolton of Prophetic Lifestyles, and the Lord has given me a word. And I pray that this word is going to bless you this week and it's going to help you to move forward in prosperity. I heard the Lord say this morning, do not move until I say move. And I felt a stirring in my spirit because we are in the pay decade, and one of the Hebrew words for move is the word, one of the pay words rather, is the word move. Move in Hebrew actually starts with the letter pay. And so many of God's children are being sent into different places, different cities, different regions. Many of us are being positioned into a new place. Many of us are moving geographically. Of course, the move of God is not always geographic. Sometimes the move of God is in your mind. You have to, you're receiving a new mind. Sometimes it's a new job, a promotion. Sometimes it's a new relationship or a new experience. But I do believe that this particular word from the Lord is a word of moving into different locations. And so, but I don't want to limit it to that. And I don't want to limit you. And so, as the Lord began to speak to me, I heard the Lord say that many times there's always a negative in a move. There's always a negative and a positive. Having moved myself several times, even almost 3 years ago, moving to Atlanta, moving can be very stressful. It can create a lot of stress. It can create worry. It can, create being in a new place, trying to find a job, trying to find the right place to live. So it can be stressful. But I heard the Lord say that if you move according to my spirit, that peace will always follow you and peace will overtake you. When I moved to Atlanta, and this is still true. There's a lot of video. A lot of people are making videos about don't move to Atlanta. A lot of people are talking about the pros of moving to Atlanta, the cons of moving to Atlanta. I actually had a friend of mine tell me that he wished people would stop moving to Atlanta because Atlanta is growing by maybe the tens of thousands every year, and it's creating a lot of problems, traffic congestion, crime is increasing, and all of that. But he wasn't a native of Atlanta. That's what I find funny. He wasn't a native. He moved to Atlanta, but now he wants the movement to stop because it's a person. Because personally, it's bothering him. But the Lord says, "Move when I move." So this word today is if it's in your heart to move, and this is the era of movement, and many of us are going to be positioned to move. I don't know what the future holds for me. I'm here in Atlanta, but I've lived in seven. This is the seventh place that I've lived in the United States. Um, but but if you're hearing God, okay, if you're hearing God, then prepare yourself for the move. Position yourself for the move. Now, here's several things that you got to do. There are signs. I want to share the signs of movement. Okay, many times when we are being called by the Lord or being led by the Lord to move, we are agitated in the place where we are, agitated, troubled, disturbed. Nothing is working. I know that that may not appear to be a good reason to move, but every time that the Lord has called me to a new place, I have felt agitation in the current place where I was. I was troubled. It was just not working for me any longer. And another sign is you're being stirred. You're being stirred up. Um, you're being stirred. You feel something in your spirit and in your soul that's stirring you to begin to look to the next place. There's a stirring within you. You can't really explain it. It can be in your emotions. It can be in your thoughts, but you're being stirred up, and so that emotional component is an important part. You should not, however, move just based on your emotions, but allow your emotions to be a part of the decision and the process of movement. And then number three, you're being troubled. Uh, and I don't mean troubled in the sense of you're just sick and tired where you're at, but you recognize that your gifts and your abilities the Lord is sending you into another place, because the gifts that you bring is needed in that region. You are needed in the place where you're being sent. And so there's a troubling within you. There's this desire that is being pushed by the trouble to go into a new place, so that you can be a facilitator of that which is good and that which is God. All right. All right. So then the process of moving, and I'm going to be done. The process of moving, it always starts with the word of the Lord. The Lord begins to speak to you. As I said, moving is a pay word. And so God's mouth begins to speak to you. Either God is speaking to you prophetically, he's speaking through prophets, he's speaking through prophetic people, he's speaking to you in your dreams and sometimes in your vision, but God is speaking and you are hearing God. You're hearing God. That's the beginning. That's where the process of movement starts, when God is speaking. Not necessarily what you are saying or what others are saying, but that God is speaking, okay? And then as you are hearing God, then you begin to see, you begin to get a vision for where you're going. You will not always have a vision at the beginning, but when you start to move into the place, then you will have a vision. Vision is starting to come. Then you're beginning to see. When Abraham was troubled by the Spirit of God to leave his homeland, he didn't know that he was going to Canaan until he actually got in the path. And then Abraham started to get a vision. He started to receive a vision. So watch for the vision, but don't wait for the vision to come. But hear God, and then God will start to give you a vision. And then as you are moving in the vision, the Lord will give you wisdom. And wisdom will tell you when to move. It will tell you where to move, how to move. Wisdom gives you the process that makes the move successful. So when I heard God in 2019 and the Lord says, I want you in Atlanta by the next year, I had to wait on the wisdom of God. I had to wait on God. I had to wait to see how God was going to bring that to pass. When I left the traditional church that I was in and moved to South Carolina, it was a move of wisdom. God began to align my movement by giving me a job, by telling me what organization to seek employment with, by leading me to the place where I would move, and my family. I was married at the time and had a family, and so that's wisdom. A lot of people mess up when they miss the third part of the movement of God. Do not move until you get wisdom, until you get that wisdom, until you get the plan, the information, the knowledge. Don't make a move until that happens, all right? So God says move. When I say move, and many of you are going to be moving in the next year, in this decade, all right? And so I pray that this word is a blessing to you. Please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel. Shalom.